Have you ever gone through this? You help someone with all your heart. You stay late to support a colleague. You listen to a friend's sorrow in silence. You choose peace, avoid conflict, and don't want to hurt anyone. And what you receive in return is being looked down on cold reactions when you finally say, "I'm tired." Whispers behind your back, too nice so people walk all over them. Kind but naive. Being good is fine, but weak people don't survive. Sounds familiar. In today's world, kindness is often misunderstood. It is no longer seen as a virtue, but as a weakness. Kindness gets mistaken for lack of strength, lack of identity, lack of intelligence. A colleague always ready to help others. Never takes credit, never complains. But when it's time for a promotion, no one thinks of them. They choose the louder, the bolder. And the kind one keeps getting asked for favors, but never remembered. Same in love. You love sincerely. You care deeply, but then they leave. Because you are too soft. Because they want someone stronger. You stand there asking yourself, why is being good still not enough? Why is kindness seen as weakness? Is it true that in a harsher world, kindness is no longer respected, but instead seen as manipulable, as vulnerable as powerless? And what happens when kind people get tired? When they step back, when they build walls? I used to believe kindness would be rewarded, but maybe the universe is busy and people just don't care. This is not a video to blame society and not to tell you to stop being kind. It is a message for you, the one who has given too much, to remind you. You have the right to keep some of it for yourself, and if you still choose to be kind, then how do you protect that kindness without losing yourself? We live in a world that glorifies the bold, speak up, demand pushback. The louder you are, the more attention you get. The more direct you are, the more respect you receive. But what about the kind ones? The ones who choose their words carefully? The ones who avoid hurting others? The ones who stay silent to keep the peace? They get called spineless, indecisive, too soft, unreliable. Someone who slams the table in a meeting might be called hot-tempered, but is remembered as someone with a strong voice. Someone who speaks gently with respect is seen as forgettable, lacking influence, failing to leave a mark, strange. Less deepak in rawa end, isn't it? The harsher someone is, the more they are praised for being honest. The more someone holds back, the more they are dismissed. Modern society often mistakes silence for weakness, gentleness for lack of identity, kindness for fear. But the truth is, kind people do not stay silent because they cannot react. They stay silent because they choose not to hurt anyone. Even when they can, kindness does not mean you don't. It get angry, it means you know when and how to channel it. You know what deserves a fight and what deserves to be let go. True, kindness is not loud, not flashy. It lives quietly inside patience, restraint, and strength. Kind people are not weak. They simply do not need to prove it. One of the biggest misconceptions is that kind people are clueless, naive, too trusting, too easy, unaware of danger. But in truth, it is often the opposite. Kind people usually see things very clearly. They know who is using them, who is lying, who only shows up when they need something, and yet they still choose to respond gently. They still choose silence, not because they are weak, but because they do not want to be cruel. Not reacting does not mean not knowing. Not speaking does not mean not noticing. Not pushing back does not mean giving in. It simply means they are thinking, is it worth it to fight back? Will speaking up make this better, or just hurt more? Kindness is a form of emotional intelligence. It means seeing clearly, knowing who is real and who is not, and still choosing to act with dignity. Some people say, if you know someone is fake and still treat them well, you are a fool. But Ravelo would say, I see. Through you, I know what you are doing. But I do not need to become a worse version of myself to deal with you. Kindness is not without limits. Kindness knows exactly where those limits are and does not let anyone cross them. Something sad happens to many kind people. After being hurt too many times, they start holding back. Kindness is no longer instinctive. It becomes conditional. They only show kindness when they feel safe. They only give when they know it will be appreciated. They only open up when they are sure they will not be used. Slowly, from someone who used to care without thinking, they begin to pause. To ask themselves, is this person worth it? Is this act worthy of my heart? It starts as a way to protect themselves, but over time, that caution turns into distance. Fewer connections, less warmth. And sometimes, they do not even realize that they have lost something beautiful. Trust kindness without trust is a guarded kindness. A way of giving while still holding onto the wallet. A way of smiling while scanning the other person. Notice eyes. And that is not what kindness was meant to be. True kindness is generous. It believes there is good in others. But hurt changes people. Many kind people stop believing the way they used to because they were burned too deeply. Too many times, Ravelo says, when a kind person becomes cautious, it is not because they changed. It is because they were hurt too much. Kindness does not mean you must suffer. Silence is not always noble. Not everyone deserves your kindness. If your kindness makes you feel hurt, makes you tired, makes you feel invisible, then maybe it is time to set boundaries. Not to become selfish, but to stop being drained. Setting boundaries does not mean refusing to help. It means knowing when to say no, and when to keep something for yourself. Boundaries sound like this: I am here to listen, but I am not an emotional trash can. I am here to help, but I also have time and energy. I need to protect, I can be kind. But I am not always available for sacrifice. Learning to be selectively kind does not mean you have changed. It means you have grown. You do not have to help everyone. You only need to live according to your values. In a world that demands too much, Ravelo says, I did not stop being kind. I just stopped giving my kindness to those who did not respect it. There is a truth. Not everyone sees. Kindness is not weakness. In fact, kindness is a rare kind of strength. Because kindness is not easy. It takes control. It takes patience. And it takes courage. Anyone can get angry. React, strike back. Be cruel, but not. Everyone can stay calm. Stay silent. Forgive, and choose not to become someone they do not want to be. You know, when someone hurts you, the natural reaction is to fight back. But kind people, they pause not because they do not feel pain, but because they know pain for pain. Only creates more pain. Kindness is when you have the power to strike, but choose not to, because you know, not everything is worth it. Kindness is when you are misunderstood, but do not shout to explain yourself, because you know the truth does not disappear. Just because someone refuses to see it, kindness is when you could destroy, but instead you choose to rebuild with your own hands. With the trust that still remains, that is strength, quiet still, but unshakable. Ravelo says, I do not need to make people fear me. I just need to stand firm, even when the world around me is falling apart. There is something no one teaches you. You have the right to be kind, but you also have the right to stop. You do not owe anyone your softness. You are not required to give endlessly. You do not have to always be the one who is good enough, especially when it leaves you empty. There are days you do not want to smile. You do not want to please anyone. You do not want to carry another story. When your own mind is already too heavy, that does not make you bad. It makes you human. It makes you real. Kindness is not a role you must play forever. It is a choice. And if it is a choice, then you can adjust it. Hold it or put it down when needed. You can still be good, but know who deserves the best parts of you. You can continue to be kind, but you do not need to sacrifice your peace to do so. Kindness is a right, not a duty. If you are tired today, let yourself rest. If you have been hurt by being too good, let yourself learn how to love yourself more. Ravelo says, I am still kind, but I no longer let my kindness be the reason someone hurts me. You can do that too and still be good. So very good.